Well, hey, good morning. Welcome to the BlueGamer Bluecast morning show. I'm your host, Adam Blue, 30 plus year video game. I forgot to get the script out. Video game playing veteran, blah, 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 blah. There's something there, though, that makes you want to stay and watch. Um, yeah, so sorry about Friday's show. Technical difficulties that later that day I was able to fix. Sounds good, by the way. Thank you. Yeah, it was, okay, so when it comes to audio, in electronics, computers, you never know what's going to happen. This instance, it was when, and this happens every once in a while, where Windows decides to, for some reason, change the input volume of a mic. It will change it just randomly. So I went into the options and it was set down to 8. And it's like, and I've had that happen before. So and I don't know what it is. It could be like a driver that I install and it just like defaults things. I don't know. But look, crazy weekend, okay? Because after Friday, it was a 3-day weekend because we had Memorial Day, which was yesterday. So that's why I actually didn't stream yesterday. I was thinking of doing it, but I felt so good just being lazy because, work's been busy, content creation's been busy. So it's been fun to be lazy. And I was really lazy. I mean, I got a lot done, actually. In fact, the video that went out Monday on my Gundam Explained, I've been putting out a video every Monday. And at the last minute on Sunday, I was like, man, I really like that I'm being lazy and not make anything, even though there's a video I really wanted to make and I had been working on it. Monday comes around and really throughout my laziness, I've had time. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to make my video. So it was fun doing the content. And I kept saying, you know what, I'm going to do a BlueGamer. I'm going to do a BlueGamer. And I just didn't. But here we are. And I have a lot to talk about. So this is a Tuesday morning and it's crazy because not only did we have the 3-day weekend and I was being super lazy, but we've had some crazy storms yesterday and even into this morning. I think I was up pretty early because it was super loud. And I like the feeling that feeling, the atmosphere when it's raining, the sound when it's dark, when it's supposed to be light. I like that change every once in a while. Like right now, it's going pretty crazy. Actually, right now the rain just picked up. But anyway, so what did I do this past weekend, game-wise? Okay, so for one, let me show you guys something really cool. If you go to adamblue.com, this is what it looks like. This is just for fun. This is where all my content gets aggregated. But I found out something from this other website, and I'm going to click on it. It's this little banner right here. This might look familiar if back in the 2000s, I forget when it was, people would have their gamer score or PSN trophy thing. Or maybe that was later, and I don't know time anymore. Okay, so you click on it, and it will bring you to this website called exophase.com. EXOPHASE.com. Does it show up there? I don't think so. Yeah, exophase.com. And what this does is it allows me to aggregate all of the services I use to play video games. So it's pretty neat because I've got, PSN, Xbox, Steam, EA, Blizzard. And I guess it tracks either it's either games or score, based on, let's see, because if I hover over that, 127 versus, yeah, so the number here coordinates with a trophy or an achievement. Obviously, it makes sense that Xbox is bigger because I've been doing that longer. But anyway, I think this is neat. This is all my jam right here. This is like collecting all my video game journey into one thing, and I love that I can share this. And so just to go down here, I was playing a lot of V Rising over the weekend. Look, I'm up to 35 hours in that game. 18 out of 49 achievements. Here's some achievements I've got. This one was making the fishing rod. V Rising is really good. Even if as a whole the game is, or I guess even its parts that make up what it is are not my jam, as a whole it works. There's the loop of there's the loop of building your castle, which lets you do so much. It's crazy. And you could be just lost in that. But then there's going out and hunting and then preparing yourself for a hunt, creating potions that can give you certain buffs. Like there is this area I like to raid, but it has holy attributes to it. So once I walk into it, I start getting infected with holiness. and then my health goes down. Well, I can create a potion that negates that. So I create a potion for that, for extra power. And when you use these potions, they're good for 60 minutes. So you can plan, okay, I have an hour of, I'm going to do all this stuff, raid all this. It helps with bosses, and that's how the loop works. It's an open world map. You raid different areas, and from there you find bosses, and by killing them, you get new things you can do to build your castle, upgrade your character. Like, I'm at the point where I'm 5 levels in, I think, to my weapons. Like, you can level them up, different materials. Anyway, V Rising is well made. And again, I'll say it's all the little individual things it does is not necessarily for me, but put together, it is such a well made game. That is a good developer because the loop is tight. Like, if I feel like, oh, I can't do any more here, I don't know what to do. Oh, but I can do this, and that's going to let me do this, which then I can then do this, and it's all integrated. It's great. Moving down, Castlevania Requiem Symphony of the Night on PS4. I have 34 hours in that. That's both playing Rondo of Blood, the Dracula X that came out on the PC Engine in '93, and then Castlevania Symphony of the Night, which we all know. I've been playing back in Symphony of the Night. Wow, look, I almost got all the achievements. I've been playing back in Symphony of the Night as Richter, to play through Richter mode. Probably the hardest Richter mode out of all the games. Because you kind of level up, your max health levels up, but nothing else. Whereas, I think I talked about this before, I was playing Portrait of Ruins Richter mode, and I feel like that is like the quintessential Castlevania. Like, his movement speed and his movement, his actions, it's great. Anyway, yeah, Tekken 8 demo, because I've been itching for a fighting game, and I meant to buy Tekken 8 when it first came out, and I didn't, because at that time, there was like, what were some things at the beginning of the year? There was like Helldivers 2 and some other things that were coming out around the time. But playing it's like, I want to get back into it, because I've played through every Tekken game when they have like the arcade story, so I have to get to this one. And then, because I'm still in that little X-Men phase, and Street Fighter, actually, fighting games, the action figures that came out recently are amazing. I went to play those. Super hard. It's funny when it is interesting, playing like the Tekken demo, or when I played the Street Fighter 6 demo last year, how modern fighting games are made to easily get you into it. When I was playing the X-Men vs. Street Fighter or Children of Adam, I got owned, and it's like, okay, I actually have to pick a character, learn the moves, take the time, and for some reason, these newer fighting games kind of ease you into that. Not good or bad thing, just interesting. Harmony of Dissonance, I actually beat, let me check. My other camera just started moving around, which is weird. I hope it doesn't like interfere with any audio or video. It's probably a ghost. That's weird. Why is the camera looking at me? It moves around. I don't know. Harmony of Dissonance, I beat its Richter mode, which is called Maxim mode. He's just a ninja. And yeah, I think it shows a little achievement right here. Oh, you can click on it and a Ninja's Victory. Get Maxim's ending. That's cool. Get all Maxim heart ups as Maxim. Okay, so you know what was really fun about playing Maxim mode? Is you could really, if you could, just go straight to the end boss. I went through to explore both castles, because in Harmony of Dissonance, it's 2 castles, which you find out halfway through. But I was able to get all heart upgrades and all HP upgrades. I'm really proud of that, because I was able to completely go through that. There's something about Harmony of Dissonance. I remember when it first came out, and even thereafter, it was like the weakest for many reasons, but man, just playing it recently, it's one of my favorites, because it is kind of easy. Not at the beginning, and I guess that's with a lot of Castlevanias, because you get so powerful, it becomes easier. But I enjoyed traversing the castle, especially the dash button. You can hold down the dash button, just quickly go through it. So if it's an area that you just need to get past real quick, because that's the thing, the fast travel on this is very limited. It does open up fast travel, but they're not everywhere, and it's out of the way. I don't know. Just all in all, good game. And then I jumped into some Call of Duty. Man, 167 hours. Yikes. You know what? I got to unplug this camera. I don't know what's going on. Didn't mess up this stream, but this was like moving around and then looking at me, and I'm like, okay. Anyway, yeah, Call of Duty. I went in to just prepare for the Gundam drop that's happening soon. Um, it was fun to jump in there and play around and shoot. You know, I I get less of a when I'm playing Call of Duty. It's a good pastime. Excuse me, especially if I'm watching a podcast or something or listening. But as a whole, the fulfillment of gaming, I don't really get out of Call of Duty. I feel like Call of Duty is just a supplement for me. And then some other stuff I talked about last week, actually. Like I played a little X Defiant. That's okay. According to this, 9 minutes. So it was like a couple matches maybe, or a match or two. I played over an hour of Hellblade 2. And about, it seems like I played longer Little Kitty Big City, but I think that's because Little Kitty Big City straight up gameplay the whole time, whereas Hellblade, that beginning is slow. Anyway, that's what I've played in. You know what? The only thing as cool as this Exophase website is, the only problem is, I guess it does track Nintendo activity. I did set that up. I guess I didn't play anything since May 12th, and that was Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 for 43 hours total. But okay. So it does capture Nintendo stuff, just haven't played recently. Yeah, Ubisoft. I got to say, I really like this. I really like this system here. I'm going to use this all the time to kind of track what I've been playing. Because it will show up front the last things I've been playing, and I don't think it's missing anything. If I can think back to playing on my Xbox, so yeah. Okay, anything else gaming-wise I got into? I'm trying to think if maybe there's something that has to do with a controller or a contraption. I mean, for one, this is kind of video game related. I don't know if I've shown off the custom Richter Belmont I'm making, the action figure that I'm making. I decided to completely change it up, and because I got the new Street Fighter figures, the Fei Long Street Fighter figure, is that Fei Long? Is the coolest action figure ever. So I decided to take it. Now I'm slowly going to turn him into a Richter Belmont. I got the Ryu head. That's Ryu, but I changed the band to white. I was able to do that by actually removing the hair and then putting a fabric underneath to go over the red headband, and then I made a bendy wire thing back here. It needs to be a little more secure. Anyway, the white pants, these little gauntlets I made. This is from another action figure. Next up is put the blue on them, and I'm going to be happy because this looks way more like a Richter Belmont, and this is just, I tell you, these Street Fighter action figures from Jada Toys are some of the best action figures right now, especially because they're only $25, but they function like a premium figure. It's amazing. It's pretty amazing. Okay. Actually, Midnight Hatter, it does track emulators. So that is this retro right here. So that's where we're showing the X-Men vs. Street Fighter, Harmony of Dissonance. I was playing Knuckles Chaotix, Motocross. Let me screen share that, sorry. So yeah, it's the, like if you go on the main page, you can, so in the emulators, you do have to then log into your Retro Achievements account for it to start tracking it. But it is insane because it's showing Game Boy Color games I was playing, PC Engine, Dreamcast. Yeah, you can. Wow, it shows like a history. Yeah, when I was playing that Gundam Seed Battle Assault for the Gundam channel. Yeah, it's actually pretty cool that it shows everything. I tell you, Exophase, EXOPHASE.com. They even have a paid option I might do because I want to support this. This is like exactly what I would want to do. Okay, let's see. Before I get into news, was there anything else gaming-wise I got into? And I think the answer is no. I think that's really about it. So yeah, let's jump into the news. All right, so Larian did a bit of crunch on Baldur's Gate 3 due to unforeseen challenges. Yeah, that makes sense. Certainly less on Baldur's Gate 3 than we did in the past, so that's good news. It would be a lie to say that we had things happen that we didn't foresee, but that's the thing about making a video game, because sure, if you've done it many times, you could plan out the milestones and plan out the timeline, but like, as you make a new game, inevitably there's new technologies being used, there's new trends in the market that then you want to try to match. Like, they couldn't get this game on Xbox because Xbox wouldn't be able to have the Series X and the regular Xbox wouldn't be able to both have the split screen co-op. So they had to delay it to work on that. Interesting stuff like that. Crunch is, it could be necessary, but if people don't want to do it, they don't want to do it. How to design a great tutorial. That would be an interesting conversation to have because there are some games where the tutorials are nuts. There are some games that don't do tutorials. And then there's the in-between. Or there's something like Blood Dragon where it's a joke tutorial. Dragon's Dogma 2 has sold 3 million copies. Good for Capcom. Great game. It is probably still my favorite game this year I've played. As much as I liked Helldivers 2, Helldivers 2, I could play a couple matches, be like, okay, I'm done for now. But Dragon's Dogma 2, I would be hooked. I would be like, it's just great adventuring on there. Xbox app confirms Call of Duty Black Ops 6 is coming day one to Gamepass. That's pretty neat. So a notification was sent out on Tuesday. Today is Tuesday. So I didn't get a notification. Let me just open the Xbox app and see if it happens to say something. So, this is really exciting because this is the first time we're getting a Call of Duty that is being released by, not only a different publisher, but a major platform holder, and we've had such a history of Call of Duty. It's just crazy how times have changed. And I just hope it's for the best, look, Activision has always been able to make good games to a degree. They slowed their output. There was a time where they were focused on IP games. They backed off that, slowed their output. Now, but Microsoft, you see how they tend to mismanage some studios, right? So I'm really curious. Man, this storm is looking ugly. It's supposed to be super bright right now, but it is completely dark and the wind is going crazy. But anyway, even with the mismanagement we see Microsoft do sometimes, I'm hoping that they figure out a way to not only keep Call of Duty going the way it has, but maybe do something to sort of spice it up in a way where, I don't know, it makes it more relevant to even a core gamer again. I think core gamers like to play Call of Duty, but there's this thing, even with me, it's like, but Call of Duty is kind of that mainstream thing, I don't know. Tango Gameworks was developing 2 unannounced games before closure. Oh, that's too bad. But you know what? This is... I gotta say, I feel like a lot of Xbox studios in games wouldn't have existed in the first place if it wasn't for Microsoft's willingness to spend money in the gaming realm. It's just they did it so long, it got to a point where they're like, well, we can't just pay and trust. We've got to change everything up now. It's very interesting because I feel like people are looking at Microsoft as the bad guy, and I think they've kind of been the good guy the whole time, just kind of a misguided young child that was innocent, that wanted to be able to play with everybody. You know what I mean? Yeah, Microsoft is that young kid that just wants to play with everyone. They don't have all the depth, but they're very friendly. They like backwards compatibility and making sure everyone can play with everyone. But at the same time, I like that Sony really puts production value. You would think Microsoft would have the better production value, but Sony, I think because of their sort of cinematic history, their filmmaking history, they could really make things have just amazing production value. What if Sony and Microsoft teamed up on a Halo title? Could happen. Parents and victims of Uvalde school shooting sue Activision. That's sad. That there was a school shooting. Is suing Activision the way to go about it? I don't know. I can't say that I could really speak on this. It's just sad. Well, let's see. An unofficial PC port of Zelda Majora's Mask has been released. So that's interesting because I think this is based off of this new thing that occurred recently where someone was able to figure out how to completely natively port an N64 game to PC, so it's an executable you run. Isn't that crazy? That is the next step. So it's pretty cool that they got that ultra wide. Interesting. All right, some Pokemon episodes of a show. That's cool. Don't really watch that, but very cool. Nintendo opening San Francisco store. So that seems odd with the way the economy is, but man, if Nintendo is seeing, oh, they're preparing for Switch 2. They know what's going to happen. They need to have that West Coast representation. Bungie wins lawsuit against AIM junkies. As reported by GameFile's Steven Totillo on social media, the Destiny developer was awarded $63,000 in damages. That doesn't seem like a lot for them, with the jury agreeing that the cheats did infringe on Bungie's copyright. Yeah, if you're cheating if you're modifying to cheat in a live service game, like, and then I guess they were able to create some sort of thing that they could sell to people, that is kind of wrong. You know, they need to do the thing, and I don't know if they already do it, but just make it where when cheats or cheaters are detected, they're thrown in a different server with just cheaters. I know some games do that. All right, Epic Games Store and Fortnite coming to iOS in UK next year. Cool. That might have been a blocker that I think they got around. Konami confirms Silent Hill live stream for this week. Okay. Expect game updates and a look at the new movie. So Konami. Let's get some Castlevania news. All right, Ubisoft has disappointed Rainbow Six fans with new R6 membership. So basically what they're doing in Rainbow Six now is actually similar to what Fortnite does. So Fortnite has the Battle Pass that you can buy, but then you can pay monthly to where you automatically always get that Battle Pass, but you also get extra stuff for that month. Hey, if people are willing to pay for that and it's all cosmetics, I feel like that's fine. But disappointed fans, that's a headline. I mean, if you want to make a quick story, find something people are disappointed in and then make an article about it. I mean, people could be disappointed about anything. Okay, yeah, so Silent Hill stuff. You know, it's funny because there was the rumored Sony Direct, which we only have a few more days, if that's really going to happen. All right. Anything else? Resident Evil 9, I heard January, or yeah, it could be coming out January or just revealed. No. The leak was in January. I forget how that works usually. Because that same thing happened with 8 and 7. Yeah, does the first Resident Evil need a remake, even though it's got a remake, just not in the modernized sense? They might as well. We'll make money. So Dragon Quest II HD 2D confirmed for PS5, Xbox. Okay, Dragon Quest is doing a re-release in HD of a game, all platforms, smart. Good for them. Never really played a Dragon Quest game other than Builders, and that was pretty fun. Man, the clouds out there look wild. Let's see. Anything else interesting? I wonder if... you know what? There's never slow news, I will say. It's just a matter of finding usually PC game releases or updates. But I think... oh, yeah, the Rogue Prince of Persia. I think that's supposed to come out today or this week. Oh, it's in early access. Okay. But that's the thing. Again, so made by the Dead Cells developer. Dead Cells was also in early access. And I feel like there's a huge difference between, and I've talked about this before, a huge difference between the early access and the final release. And there was this weird thing going on where I felt like they became two different games, and I wasn't sure if I liked the original game more than the new one, but the new one I didn't play as much as I played back. It's just a weird thing where sometimes I'm too scared to play an early access game to kind of get the wrong feeling of it. Songs of Conquest. Never heard of this, but those graphics look great. It looks like a hex-based, like, tile, turn-based. I mean, the graphics look cool. Let's see. Wait, first Black Ops 6 gameplay images have been revealed. No, in teasers, okay. Well, the multiverse is coming back. Okay, so that might be it as far as news goes. Not too much news, but I think it had to do with the weekend. You know, everyone having a 3-day weekend and the holiday and just kind of taking it easy, because that's totally what I did, and I enjoyed it. From Autonomous, yeah, it was Dragon Quest Day the other day. This was like the first news of the game in the last 3-ish years. Yeah, you know, I've always known of Dragon Quest. It's just, to me, I was afraid it would just be a typical, RPG, Japanese RPG. I did play Dragon Quest Builders, and that was fun because that was more of Minecraft, but it was more structured around being an RPG. I played the first and second, but only a little bit of each, and they were fun. It's the thing about those builders games, survival games. It's like, you got to know real quickly, are you going to spend your time playing this? Because that's what V Rising does, and I think how V Rising helped was right off the bat, there's so many systems that I don't have to work toward one thing first. It's like if I'm trying to work to something and I have to grind for it, I can work on something else and kind of almost get that side grind done. Is that a good term for it? Side grind? To help me with everything else. But the thing about Dragon Quest is that's what inspired Pokemon. And I don't think a lot of people know that. You know, Nintendo... And I forgot, there was some exchange that happened in the 80s. I forget what it was, but it ended up, 80s or 90s, but it ended up being where they couldn't work with the Dragon Quest guys, so they ended up just making monsters look like that. And so that's pretty cool that the Dragon Quest lineage lives in Pokemon. You know, I thought I'd have a lot more to talk about, but I think that's it, really. I think, yeah, not too much news, not too much, you know, super new games other than what I've already talked about. Yeah, check out that Exophase website if you're into that. Some people want to keep that stuff private, but I like showing all my gaming stuff that I've been doing. Actually, let me share that again. I wanted to check something else here. If I click on Xbox, you know what? Actually, I forgot that I played Diablo 4 just a little bit, and it's actually not showing up anywhere around here. Interesting. Yeah, I played a little Diablo 4 on Xbox, on PC. Huh. I wonder if I have to do some sort of update or something. I'll have to look into that. I just played a little bit. It was pretty cool. I don't know if I'll get back into it, but it was fun. Anyway, that is it for this episode. I'm glad I got back to this and no technical difficulties. But yeah, back at it, talking video games. Yeah, anything you've been playing, post below. Man, I wish I could show you guys actually, I can. Let me show you guys what the clouds look like. If it even shows up. Because it is that gonna show? Actually, the camera is compensating and making it very bright, so. Okay. And now this is probably in an awkward spot. But that's okay. Because it's over. So thanks all for watching. We will talk later.